everyone. I'm your host, RC.
How you doing? I'm Mike, and we're here with a new show called Open Up the Conversation. And basically what we're trying to do is start the conversation for people that need to know things, and maybe things that aren't being said. That's what we're trying to do. So, you know what? Let's get into it. First thing I want to say, straight off the bat, is rest in peace to Bob Saget. Also, rest in peace to Betty White. Everybody knows about the loss. Two greats.
I'm kind of, it's sad that he did pass, but I never got a chance to see him. I never got a chance to go to a show or see him live. We've seen him growing up.
Yes.
I knew.
Wake Up San Francisco.
He's been in tons of TV shows, not just Full House. I remember when he was on
Half Baked.
He was in Entourage. You ever see Entourage?
Yes.
He played a great part in Entourage. I love that. Obviously, I'm gonna miss that, but the world's gonna miss him. He was one of the greats.
Everybody from our generation is gonna miss him, of course, especially Betty White. I actually have a tweet here the night after he actually did his last stand-up. Says, "Loves tonight's show here in Jacksonville. Appreciated the audience, of course. He had no idea it was going to be a 2-hour set, but again, he said he loved it. He said, I'm addicted to this ish again," which is, of course, his stand-up, and obviously that's what he loved. Of course, the reports are coming out that, he died in sleep, no pain, could have been a heart attack or a stroke, but again, best wishes to the family, especially for him and Betty White, because she was just one of those monsters. So
he will be missed.
He will be missed. Yes.
Wait, was that last show in Jacksonville,
yes,
Florida?
In Jacksonville.
I used to live there.
Concert Hall.
It's
PV Concert Hall in Jacksonville.
Yeah, I know what that is. I lived there for, I'm going to say, 4.5 years.
4.5 years. That's
I got some wild stories to tell you throughout the series about Jacksonville. A lot of it I got to be careful because a lot of it's incriminating.
Jacksonville
used to be wild, especially back in the early 2000s. Mm-hmm. I haven't been there in probably 12 years, but
that's crazy.
Last time I was down there was about 2017, 2018.
I didn't go to Jacksonville.
No, I'm sorry, 2007, 2008.
I actually went to, I go to Orlando and Kissimmee all the time.
Yeah, been there a bunch of times.
Yes, of course.
Especially at Disneyland,
who does not know?
Swallowing up Central Florida.
Oh my God, it should just be. That's what it should just be. It should be called just Disneyland, Disney County.
Don't they have their own? Don't they have their own zip code? They do, right?
Yes, Disneyland. I believe. You know what? We can actually check up on that too. But again, it's great if you've never been there. But the problem I'm having now is when I was young, you pay one price, and get into all the parks.
Yeah, it's everything's separate. Yeah, they have those park things together.
Yeah.
What is it, like $400 now if you want to do like?
If you're a family of 5, you're not leaving with less than $1,000. Damn. Yes, less than $1,000. No, you might as well just turn back around.
And that's not included. That's not included. Because you pay for parking, no, right?
Yeah, of course you pay for parking.
You got to pay for the food is.
Oh, the food is 3 times the
regular.
You get a hot dog for $17. And you'll be lucky if it comes with fries.
Yeah.
But again, on the sadder side of the news, I had just read a report. Actually, again, we're going back to Florida, obviously. So in Florida, we have a cop shooting, but not what you would think. This cop was going on a call of noise complaint of a dog barking. So him and another patrolman go to the site. He walks up on the site, and again, the dog is still barking, but there seems to be people in the house where the dog is.
Yeah.
So the cop comes out and tells the family, I believe it was Hispanic because it wasn't Spanish. He said, "Get your dog, get your dog, get your dog." The person that came out and the dog walked towards the cop, still barking, and the cop unleashed 6 bullets, close range, to this dog, and
So-
I did not specify this was a puppy dog.
A puppy. So, but this dog was not coming after the officer violently, was it?
No,
So
just
barking.
he was just responding to a dog barking complaint. And
So he shot the dog when the dog was walking towards him.
yes. So as it says here, 2 dogs. It was a white Maltese and a black American Bull. Were seen running outside the residence. In Spanish, as he pointed the gun at the pet, this is the cop. In Spanish, he told them to get your dog, get your dog. The black dog named Alpha then ran towards another officer who was in the street. Then came back onto the property, and at that time, the officer then fired 6 rounds. 6 rounds at a dog close range. As I said here, killing the puppy dog.
Yeah, see that's a tough situation. It's not that it's a tough situation. It's if the cop I'm pretty sure what he's gonna say is that he felt threatened.
Of course.
That's what he's gonna say.
Of course.
Because and obviously when you're an officer, you're trained when you pull your weapon, you're trained to use it to eliminate an object. You're trained to stop. You know, you don't shoot to wound, you don't shoot to do that, you shoot to eliminate. But 6 shots to a dog,
that's a little excessive.
now possibly people are like, well, what if you just fired a warning shot? Well, you would think that makes common sense, but when it comes to rules for these guys, they can't do that kind of stuff because it's discharging their firearm. So what were the options? Now I'm not backing him up because if anybody killed my dog, I'd be fucking furious.
100%.
But was it necessary to have 6 shots? No. But
No, I don't believe so.
So do you wait? Now, what if that dog? We know it doesn't say it was violent, but what do you wait till it's right on top of you and it does get violent? Or
Again,
he made a judgment call.
Yeah, he definitely did. I don't understand why, even if it got down to that, why not? Why not take your taser out? Does a taser do the same thing to a dog as it does to a person?
Yeah, absolutely.
I would think so, right?
Absolutely.
So, if he, I just can't see. And believe me, people, there is a video out showing what had happened. Obviously, we can't show you that, but there is, if you are interested in looking.
Yeah, check it out. Look it up.
There is a video out of the homeowner's camera.
Is it on YouTube or is it on
YouTube?
It's on YouTube. Okay.
It's on YouTube. I don't know how long we're gonna keep that on YouTube because obviously,
there's a lot of
again,
on YouTube.
But again, it's just I just don't see the necessary need to almost unload half a clip on what was a puppy.
A puppy, yeah. And if you can clearly see it was a puppy, but now, of course, we're playing Monday morning quarterback. We're out here, we're saying things. Just like the rest of you guys are probably thinking, why would you do that to your dog? Most people, not everyone, but most people love dogs.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So, maybe the cop was just a dick.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Maybe
we don't know.
He hated dogs.
Maybe it was his 7th dog call, and he was just tired.
Yeah, and we're probably never really going to know because I'm pretty sure what he's going to say. Like I said before, he's going to say
the dog charged, and I shot.
That's what he's going to say.
And it's Florida.
Yeah,
so
Florida.
He has his right as to do so.
And speaking of which, is that because I know pit bulls aren't? No, I know a bully's not a pit bull.
Okay,
Don't
it's
freak
American
out.
Bully. Yeah,
It's an American bully. But are they? I know some states you can't have certain dogs.
Okay.
I don't know if that's a legal thing or it's just they don't want you to have certain dogs.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of states frown upon having like pit bulls.
Yeah, they're all dogs. They're all
I know
animals.
I know it's apartment complexes for sure, and pretty much almost anywhere. They don't like pit bulls. They don't like Dobermans, Rottweilers. Because there's a few other dogs. I think maybe possibly shepherds. They feel like those are vicious dogs.
See, but again, if you are owning one of these dogs, aren't you
responsible for it.
for
I have a Doberman, and it is the best dog.
Again,
anybody has ever seen.
I'm not a dog person. I don't mind dogs. Just having them myself until I feel like I have 3 kids, I don't want another one. That's my thing. But again, I come to RCs all the time, and both his dogs are just delightful. They do exactly what he says, and they stay in lines. And again, I feel like the same way with parenting. You want your kids to be in line. You don't want to be a mess. You don't want them all over the place.
You gotta stand top.
Come on, those people that at the grocery store swinging their kids around that are yelling. We don't want that. We don't want none of that. But again, like I said,
every now and then if you go to Walmart, you'll get somebody.
Oh yeah, all the time. Walmart's the best place for that.
Some kid catching the backhand.
Yes.
Or being dragged out of the store. It still goes on. I'm not saying beach kids, ladies and gentlemen, but it is. It's not deadly. It is kind of funny sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. And most people, when they're in public, they won't scold the kids, so it really even looks worse on them.
Yeah, it does. Every now and then you'll get that parent who don't care and doesn't care who's around, screaming.
Yeah.
But
it's a thing.
Listen, I was raised. I got smacked quite a few times.
Oh, believe you me. My father was FBI agent.
Oh yeah.
So anything.
Straighten your ass.
Real quick. I had to walk this line because if I fell this way, you best believe I'm going to get smacked back this way.
Yeah, I know. Because my mother wasn't really one, because my mother's white, my father's black, so my father is the one who used to beat my ass once in a while. And that used to fucking, he'd set me straight.
But again,
black people don't play.
Yeah, but again, when we were young, that was the way to straighten us up. We got tougher when we got bullied.
So what happened? What happened now? What happened now?
I don't know.
You see kids running the show, and you want to approach a little bit more professional, a little bit more caring, but at the same time,
yes, I mean,
you're letting I see some bad kids out there, man.
Horrible.
And you know what the first thing the parent does is take that little device and here you go. Sometimes they do that, and some of these kids are just so bad that you can't take them to restaurants, and airplanes are the fucking worst.
I can't. And again, my kids are. I don't want to say the best kids, but to me they are, and they're in line. They would never act out anywhere, and if they did, they know I'd give them the look, and he knew, like, okay, I went a little too far. Let me back it up.
Yeah, rein it back in.
Yes. So it like I said, a lot of people say it's kids raising kids. I can't say. I just don't see where this is going. It seems to be going in the wrong direction. But
it is, and a lot of it has to do with now everything is so public.
I know everything's on camera,
so it's it's kind of hard to have that type of discipline. And then some people say, "Well, we've evolved. We don't do that no more. It's old way of thinking." Yada yada yada. Yeah, we know that. I'm not disagreeing with that.
Yeah.
But
there's times you need.
If you know your kid's an asshole, then you want to make sure it's checked before you bring it to a restaurant.
I mean, anywhere.
You know what I mean?
Granted, if he acts like that at home when there's nobody around, okay. But he needs to know when you're out in public. Come on, man. Everybody's looking. Everybody's watching, and eyes are always on somebody. It's just the way it is,
So what do you got over here?
Let's move on for a little bit. Again, I feel bad because I feel like every story I have is coming out of Florida.
Another Florida.
Yeah.
Sorry, Florida.
Yeah.
I love Florida.
Yeah, I do too, man. Mickey, me and you. You know what I mean? But again, I have this story from St. Petersburg, Florida, where a body cam video shows a Florida police officer grabbing his female colleague by the throat and tosses her aside when she tries to de-escalate her partner from abusing a man that he had in handcuffs already. So, for people that don't know about this story, it's on the Insider, and basically, this white officer detained a black suspect. We don't know the reason why the detainee had happened.
Doesn't say in the story.
Doesn't say in the story, but again, he was, I guess, being very rough and forceful. Now, his partner, which was a female white officer, saw it getting out of hand and thought she should just walk up and say, "Hey, listen,
Like someone would.
Like, I mean, you know, people nowadays, you don't really get involved with the cops you're doing. But if that was somebody on the street, hey, man, you know.
Yeah. You know, you try to de-escalate it.
But the partner, I mean, you know, you have a partner, you know, you work with them night and day, and she tries to say, hey, you know, let's relax. And he had the audacity to turn around and grab her by the throat and toss her aside because he wanted to take whatever anger or issues he had out on this man who was already
he was obviously already in that zone.
Yes.
So the question is now, so what happens? Are they going to be not partners anymore? Is she going to press charges on him? I mean,
see, that's right now, as all they said, is it's under investigation.
So we don't know.
We don't know. I'm definitely going to keep updated and see what happens, but it's, you know, it's...
Hopefully they keep with the story too.
You know, they don't want to push this under the rug because it was a law enforcement getting caught doing something bad.
Yeah.
But again, you know, everybody has their issues or
bad day. I mean, I get it. You people, you know, everyone people, oh, that's ridiculous. You know, take it on people. I get that. Not everybody's the same, and you know,
and especially
it's being a police officer.
Exactly.
Not everybody knows how stressful it is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm the vet, so I know a tiny part about what that means, and it's, you know, some people can really hold it together for 20 years, but some people eventually just can't do it. So in the long run, the question is, so is that the job for you? Well, no, then eventually it's not. Maybe at first it could be, but when you start losing that sense of control, maybe it's time to quit. You know, and that's one of the things that they should start, I believe, to start doing, is having evaluations throughout your career.
Oh,
because people do change.
Like
you know, people change. Everyone's every 7 years.
They say first time you shoot your gun on site, it changes.
Yeah. So everybody changes, and if you're still, you know, within the guidelines of being whatever they consider to be top grade or whatever, you know, you keep going on. If you're falling behind, or your anger issues are higher, you have more incidents. You know what I mean? And I know they're going to say, well, we do something like that kind of already. Yeah, you kind of do, but could it be better? Yes, anything could be better. And after these last 2 years, you know, a lot of the people are against them. Now, I'm not against them, but I am not for all the things they do either.
No, and a lot of people have their own take on law enforcement. Some people say that, you know, they help. Some people don't.
We need them. We need them.
We need good officers out there, like this woman who saw something happening and acted upon it. I mean, like they said, I wish we had more good than bad. I couldn't tell you the percentage, but I would hope there's more good than these bad police officers.
And I think there is, and I really think there is.
In my heart, I do.
It's because when you're a media outlet, you know, putting a story out about a good cop doesn't get you anywhere. It doesn't get the clicks.
No.
And that's the other thing. That's the other side of it. The bad news is what really stings people. And gets them like, oh shit, let me check this out. You know what I mean? And so one bad thing out of a million becomes well known because of its value to the media company. So, but again, we have to have that because then we want to know what was going on. You know, if they didn't highlight those things, we would, you know, more of this could be happening every day. So it's a double-edged sword. It's a sticky place to be in. Yeah. You know what I mean? But you know, like I said, we definitely need them in the oral line.
Yeah, we do. There are a lot of good cops out there. We can't trash them all. No. There's a handful of them that are just, you know.
They're just
the problem is, like you said, they're the ones that make the cut. You don't hear about the ones that help every day. You hear about the ones that always mess up, and unfortunately, that's the type of media that
gets clicks. Exactly,
yeah.
And that's
like you said, it gets views. I mean, everybody right nowadays is trying to get views.
Bad news is what sells.
Yeah, bad news, and it's bad. That's
the thing. So it says something about our society. Like we're loving
the bad news. We're not here to say, oh, look at this guy, save this guy from a burning car. You won't hear that. Mm-hmm. You will hear, as he was yanking him out, he pulled him, and now the guy's suing him for saving his life. Stuff like that. It'll draw your attention, and it's sad. It's like that.
But I wonder. I mean, why? I mean, because we humans are always like have this since thousands of years ago. We always have this. Like for instance, look at Rome. Fighting.
That's what I'm just about to say. If you take fighting and gladiators,
yes,
and
it goes so far back.
We've been watching that for years, and it excites us.
Yes, it's a six-sided problem.
It's the excitement that draws us to it. So I mean, yes, again, I understand that. Hey, you want an adrenaline rush? Go jump out of a plane.
And people are like, well, we're more civilized now. Yeah. Everything around us, material-wise, but we're still humans. We're still in early stages of being, of learning, especially within the last, let's say, 500 years, 1,000 years. That's nothing. There's no time right there. Learning how to be civilized people. Before that, we were cavemen. Doing.
And I can't lie to you. I'm one of those people. I am infatuated by watching Cops.
Yeah, it draws you in.
All day long.
It's doing its job. It draws you in. And that's part of being human, and I think that's also the problem. But is it a bad thing? Not necessarily.
No. It's.
I think it's bad when it's monetarily capitalized.
Yeah, well, I mean, like you said, nobody.
That's where that
watches
just comes
the
in.
plain stuff. Everybody wants to watch the exciting stuff.
So
it is what it is, and
but
where the world is going.
That's true. And then just a caveat on that. There's a bunch. I know this is kind of old news, but it's not really that old. But there's a lot of areas in this country now where you have police officers that are quitting their jobs.
Oh yeah.
Because it's a lot of the way they're being treated it isn't fair.
No.
Because you do. If you pick 10 people out, you're gonna have probably one bad person.
Yeah, I got.
It's the same thing as being an officer. What about the fireman? There's an asshole fireman. There's an asshole EMT.
But
they're
like
not.
It's what it's viewed as. So
exactly.
We sit there, and there are great cops out there, but then, like you said, you get that one bad one, and it takes the rap for everyone else. They figure, oh, well, he's bad, so this one's gotta be bad, and I feel for them. It's sad.
Yes, it does.
Again, you have to realize they want to go home to their families too. They need to be aware that what they do is dangerous, and they might not make it home alone. I understand cops. Sometimes they draw their guns too early, but again, you have to think the same way. I want to go home. I want to see my family. At that point in time, that's all you want to do. And
that's a pure, like what you just said about drawing weapons. Most of these issues, not saying all the issues, but most of the issues can be solved if these police departments have more training.
Yes.
And I'm not talking go to the range when you get hired. I'm talking like kind of like what we do in the military. We constantly, once a month, maybe once every 2 weeks, tactical type training, situational training. So when you're in those situations, it's muscle memory, and you're thinking quickly because you've been trained, so frequently to think quickly.
Well, here perfect. Just as he's talking about, we just had that incident where a female officer pulled over a young black man, and as she wanted to tase him, she unfortunately pulled her handgun and shot him.
Where was that?
I'm gonna look that up now, but
I remember hearing.
Again,
it's accidental.
Accidental. If you would have had more training, I mean, granted, I'm not a police officer. I've never held a police-issued taser, so I do not know the difference between the handgun and the taser. I would assume there is a difference, but again, they were saying, she thought she pulled the taser out and began to shoot.
So I think where I'm coming from, what I'm thinking is that's not enough training. Because
exactly. You should know the weight of a loaded gun.
You have your gun, let's say you're right-handed, and you have your gun on your right hip. Okay, so where does your taser go? So the taser, some tasers are right here. It's easy access, which is not a bad spot. Mm-hmm. But some have it on the other side.
Yes, and some have it right next to it.
Right next to it. So if you're not ever used to drawing with your left hand
to
reach for the taser,
yes,
automatically you're in a high stress situation. You got milliseconds to think about something. Right away you go to what you know your whole life. Your right hand, boom, there it is. You think it's taser, you squeeze, and it's not.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
just positioning your weapons in a certain way can also cut down on that too.
and like you said, training. I mean,
That's what it comes down to. That's the biggest
you're
thing.
pulling something. You should know what you're grabbing.
Listen, if you were to go into the octagon and fight, you train, right?
Of course, you have to.
You wouldn't just
You don't
find
wanna go
somebody
in and get
and
your-
say, "Hey, I want to fight you. Let's go
Yes.
in the ring." Like you're not going to do that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So it's kind of the same situation. Not saying that being a police officer, everybody is your opponent, but the high stress situations pop up, and sometimes they're frequent, sometimes they're infrequent. So you tend to have this moment of being lax, or it could be weeks, and something charges you up again, and you're not ready for it because you've been on such a
Well, that's what they said too. I believe they said that she wasn't. She hasn't been out very long.
See, that's what I mean.
That's,
So
again, it's sad that stuff like this has to happen. But I mean, again, we are living in this world. This is the world that we are living in right now.
it is the world we live in, and unless changes like that are made, but then on the other hand, now you want this whole. I mean, it's not so much pushed in your face now with the whole defund the police and all that. But how do you expect to have a better police department when you take away their funds?
Yeah.
To teach them how to be
How
better.
to use what they're
You
doing.
see what I'm saying? And you can't just get rid of them because it'll be pandemonium.
Oh no!
Look what happened in Seattle.
Yeah.
Look what
Or
happened in Minneapolis.
Minnesota,
I mean,
yeah.
it's like we see it.
Once it goes south, it goes south bad, and that's the thing too. It's just not something little. And when stuff like you said, like Minnesota, when Minneapolis, it got bad, and it got bad quick, really quick.
And then it takes a really big, swift, hand to come in and clean it up.
Yeah, and it's still right now they're cleaning it up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it'll be a perpetuating situation.
Yeah. So I mean, again, it's rough, but we all have to look to the brighter side. Everybody can do stuff for themselves. Do stuff to make your better, to make our future better. I'm living by the quote, "Do more, be more," where I believe if everybody does a little bit more, everybody can be more. Don't just settle for what you have. Unless, I mean, hey, I'm not knocking anybody, but I don't want to be stagnant. I want to continue to grow. I know RC, he wants to continue to grow. I hope everybody wants that. So a little bit of do more, be more. Everybody can give a little bit more.
Something to live by.
I mean, we're all humans. We all have to live with each other for the rest of our existence on this planet. So, I mean...
Or Mars, depends.
Yeah, because Musk is almost up there.
Well, we're probably not going to see it.
We won't see it.
But speaking of Mars, this is probably, it was 2 weeks late, but on Christmas Day they launched the Webb Telescope.
Mm-hmm.
This thing is going to be. Now we're not going to be getting information for a while.
They got to clear that all up before they give it to us.
It's probably going to be years, but it's going to go out of our solar system.
It's meant to actually. They want it for research.
Yeah,
but
they're gonna say,
we need to find
the
other people, other life forms out in the universe.
And a lot of scientists say that we're going to discover things that are.
We have to. I mean, if you think about it, they tell you that the universe is an infinite world.
Where you go.
There is no way that God put just us here. I mean, it's hard to believe.
It is hard to believe, and I want to believe that.
I want to believe it too, but again...
But if it's so vast that, it's not really a big deal to spread everything out so far that you don't realize.
Yeah, why everything got to be so far?
Well, my question is, you got Earth, okay? And you send a telescope out. Now, let's say this is the north and the south, right? Of Earth, north-south.
Mm-hmm.
And we shoot the telescope out just this way.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes this way through space. Because the Earth is kind of, straight like that. What about this way? What about down? What about, what I'm saying? Like,
I know. And
like how much stuff, like we're searching
it's just so
on a horizon.
Vast. It is such a vast, you can't tell. You can't tell. And like I said, I mean, probably another 100 years from now, they'll be sending so many of those telescopes out there. They'll just
I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see it.
I you know, at this point in my life, growing up, hearing about Area 51 and all that, you kind of wonder by this time. And all the, you read on the internet, people seeing all these sightings and these UFOs, and it's really hard to believe that.
I want to believe
out there.
I want to believe it, but I have to be reserved about it because
you have to.
But what really gets me, and this is going to sound like a typical, what's that word when you typical skeptic?
Oh, okay, skeptical over here.
But look at these high-powered equipment like these phones we have and tablets and everything, and we can't get a good picture. You know what I mean? It's always a fuzzy,
well,
type of. It's kind of like
I've read somewhere that the reason that they do not get clear photos is because the aliens give off radiation. So when you try to film them, it comes out like. And again, that's what I've heard.
Yeah.
I saw that somewhere.
Yeah, it seems to be a good excuse.
Yeah, it seems to be a great excuse. I mean, what would you think if there were aliens walking among us? I mean, by this time, shit, they've been doing it for now. Okay, hey man, go ahead.
Maybe they haven't even showed up yet. Who knows?
Exactly. But again, it's something to think about.
I don't think it'll be. I
don't think it'd be a bad thing.
Yeah, but I also don't think it's going to be a pleasant.
At first, it might not.
Just depending. Unless, see, we're doing it for. As of now, we're doing it for science. Let's just say, right? Mm-hmm. We want to explore what's out there. But if we last another, 1,000 years and we keep developing technology, eventually we're going to have to start going places for resources.
Oh,
for energy.
Again.
So now what happens if us humans discover other places? You know what I mean?
See,
so what if that civilization is doing the same thing by now they come here? If they show up here, are they in that,
again, it's overpopulation.
Experimental.
We're running out of resources. I mean,
it's going to happen.
Hey, listen, I'm a big comic book guy, and Thanos had it right. If we had completely take away half of existence and life everywhere, the next generation or the next century would grow not needing as much and ruin what we have.
And realistically, now we're not saying get rid of half of humanity.
No, of course not.
Calm down and don't break out in the comments.
Yes, so but it is
the
true.
idea of it is definitely would definitely be feasible. It would extend the life of our civilization if that were the case.
That's why you got all these people now trying to build these shuttles to go see where else we can live.
Yeah,
because we're actually destroying this planet.
Yeah, well,
it is true. It's truth down to science. We're destroying this planet. We are killing its natural resources.
Using most of them up, and
they're building everywhere. Yeah, I mean, again, me and RC are from New York. All right, we relocated down to South Carolina. And again, when I first got down here, it was nice. There were trees, nice acres everywhere. Now I feel I can drive down the street and they're building new complexes. They're building new townhouses.
Yeah, it is a little sad when you I remember 9 years ago, 5 years ago, just driving around. There's a lot of places you're like, oh, look at that nice large patch of wilderness with this field. And then they're gone. You drive by them, and the trees are gone, and this is, and that's the problem. Everywhere is going to end up being developed because, first of all, people just don't stay in the same spot.
No.
Half the people, let's say half the people do. The other half of people who are tired of living where they live, want to go somewhere else where it's better, where it's financially better, where it could be politically better, it could be educationally better. Whatever the case may be, it's the same thing with people who migrate to the United States.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for a better life.
Better.
They want to do more. Again, I came down here to stretch my dollar out. I came down here to get out of the cold, out of the winters. Again, we did just have a snowstorm down here, but within 2 days it's gone.
Yeah, this is day 3, right?
Yeah.
So day 3, roads are completely clear.
Yeah. You got a little bit of slush in some side roads, but again,
some like 1 lane type side road.
Yeah.
But I was driving today. Where was I driving? It was not such a main road. It was over in New Cut.
Okay.
it looked like it looks like it was salted
Really?
or sandy. Yeah, you know, you
Okay.
can. So
That's
driving
a step
it,
up. That's a step up.
and I thought it was, you know, as I'm driving, I think it's snow, but it used to be glistening and it's kind of spread out where it's that white. I'm thinking it was salt or sand.
Okay.
I think what they had to do is, I'm pretty sure this is taking care of. These roads are secondary to.
Yeah. Well,
The
I just
interstate.
on News 7 this morning they were talking to the governor of South Carolina. He wanted to make sure that he did get some type of salt out for the school districts where
Yeah.
the school buses drive by, which is granted that's fantastic. I mean, if anybody knows about down south South Carolina, they do not really deal with the snow.
It only snows, once
You know, it only snows once every 2 years, maybe.
yeah, maybe twice a year.
Maybe. And they're not prepared down here. No salt trucks, no plow trucks.
But anywhere down here, that's anywhere in the south.
Anywhere in the south. When they have a learning of snow, everything's shut down. The state shuts down. I mean, you can't even go to supermarkets. You can't even go to a McDonald's. That won't be open. Nothing really opens when it snows. And I mean, for me, I love it. Because I don't have to drive try to go to work in 5 feet of snow like I did in New York.
Yeah.
You know, I don't mind it. If, like I said, if it snows once every 2 years, and my kids can play in the snow for a little bit, and then 2 days later the sun comes
Well,
out.
you
and
actually
dries
might
it.
get your wish because it snows Sunday.
Yeah.
And it's gonna snow again.
Now they're actually saying we might
Friday.
get another snowstorm. So this is our
Friday.
two within our 2 years.
Yeah. Within the same week.
Yeah, that's a big one.
It's supposed to be a lot of rain though with it, so there might be a lot of ice.
But again,
And nobody, I don't care if you're from up north, yeah, you know, we know how to drive in the snow. So do
They
millions
know
of you
how.
guys,
down here.
but you can't really, there's nothing that can control an ice. So
No.
you need to be extra cautious.
Yes.
You know, I don't care what kind of four-wheel drive vehicle you have.
Yeah, you still have to know. Even if you have four wheel drive, you know what that means? That means all four wheels can slip.
Yeah.
that's all.
Snow, it's a different story, but ice, it kind of screws everyone's day up.
Yeah, ice is devilish because again, most of the time you can't see it, and then when it's there, you're not prepared for it, and you're not prepared, and then that happens.
Yeah,
But again, you know, I feel like everybody should leave big city states. I mean, prices of everything, it's getting a little,
but you know,
it's getting a little rough. I mean, my parents moved down here just to get out of the snow as well,
yeah.
and they're happy down here. Like I said, my family, me, I love it down south because it's easier going, and you know, right now we have some stats saying that South Carolina is the 5th fastest growing state coming up to 2021, and that's big. That, you know, because we, from being here so long, we see it. We literally drive down the streets and we can see that it's growing fast.
You know, yeah, and I was looking at that, and it said from April 1st to July 1st of 2021, there was 824,000 people who had moved here.
See?
In just that little period of time.
See?
Because it was actually watched. So it's not, I guess it could be that high all year long. I'm not real sure. But it just picked those 2 dates because that's what they were focusing on, that time period. And so even if it's half that.
It's mind blowing. It's still,
even if it's half that a year.
it's still ridiculous.
So what's going to happen, you know, what's going to happen is it going to be, eventually, is going to be less people in New York City? Is it going to be like 5 million people again?
Oh, no.
And we're not here? Because eventually it's going to switch. It's going to end up switching.
Hopefully it'll even out.
And then it'll saturate one place. From one place it'll saturate, and then people are like, oh, we're not going to go there now. We're going to find somewhere else to go. You know, and then it's just going to keep going like that until they figure it out. Until they figure out, you know, where they're going to park their car.
Where they're going to go next. Where is it going to be next? So again, you know, it is what it is. Obviously, everybody, you know, wants a better life. I can't blame them for that. But like he just told me that he was looking online in California for how much rental it would be. And can you bring that just one more fact about that situation?
Yeah, it wasn't California, New York.
Oh, okay.
It was New York. So I did. I was looking up there, and I found a 300 square foot apartment for $2,300.
300.
That was just one. There's many of them that are like that. Some are even more money.
2,600. That's more than my mortgage. Just want to let everybody know.
But that's what people, that's you paying for
double.
It is. It's double. So that's what people are facing.
Yeah.
Now, of course, you probably make a shit ton more money up there, which you do.
Okay. But
depending on what you do.
Yeah. I mean, granted, if you're safe and happy because you make great money and you have your own business, I'm happy for you. I'm great. But for the average man, it doesn't pay.
Yeah.
That's all really what we're trying to say is it's astronomical the difference from big city living to down south living.
It does. It takes and for me it didn't take really that much time to adjust. Either.
No, not at all.
Because the whole thing was because I wanted to leave it behind.
Yes.
It wasn't like I have to move because of the job I have to do so I have to get used to it. I was like, get me the F out of here.
And I felt the same way.
I want to go somewhere and where
I want to be more in with my family. I don't want to work to live. I want to work to make money to save up for my family, my children coming up now. I don't want to work struggling, making $500-600 a week, and knowing I'm living paycheck to paycheck.
True, but I also think the main motivation right now, especially from like California and New York, two very highly liberal states, people are getting out of there because they're draconian methods that they're using, and it's really those two. There's maybe another state or two that are leading that way. They're just, businesses are still closed.
Yeah. Like
California lost 73% of restaurants are done, never to open again.
And again,
so people are getting. They have to make money. They have and the living and the cost. Nothing has been adjusted, but except the measures of what you got to do now. You can't leave your home. You got to have, 16 vaccines and all this other shit.
And that's the problem with all these new variants of COVID coming out. I mean, when does the booster stop? I mean, I feel like every other. Yeah, that's the problem. They want you to get vaccinated, but then again, when does the booster stop?
I think once that money dries up, once they can stop cashing in on this, they'll eventually stop.
And again, don't get me wrong. I mean, people have their own choice if they want to get vaccinated or if they don't. I mean, I have nothing to say about that. It's just, when will it be over? And it looks like it might never be.
Yeah. Well, tell me if I'm wrong, but I know. Could have been a few weeks ago, was it a few days ago, where the president was like, the federal government can do no more. So they're kind of letting, instead of being on the news every night saying you gotta wear 2 masks, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, they're kind of like, we're gonna leave it to the states. Yeah. Now I know he did say that. I don't remember how long back it was.
Well, a lot of places now are saying that you have to have this N24 mask now to go outside.
Yeah, and it depends on what state you're in. You know what I mean? You have other states that, like I said, like I know California and New York are the two biggest ones that are just. It's getting to the point.
There might be a shutdown again.
And people, it's pushing people. It's pushing people away. And yes, we know it's in the name of safety. We get all that. We're not saying we're some of the method, but the biggest thing is we say you use your common sense. But the problem is common sense is not common.
Not anymore. I mean, it's like a unicorn now.
And a lot of people want to be told what they have to do instead of making their own decision. And I think that's where the lines get blurred a lot. Because you have half the population who's like, listen, I know what to do. If I'm sick, I'm not going to go away. Yada yada. I know what I have to wear. How to be careful. And the other half just want to be told this is what you're doing and follow suit. But like I said, we're all different humans. Each one is different. So.
We take it our own way.
Everybody can't be the same. So you're going to have this huge population, turmoil from what's coming down above. But
again, this is the world we live in. So right now, I want to say thanks everybody for coming by and letting us speak to you. One last thing, we do want to let everybody know. We want to be aware of mental health and depression. Okay, guys? Mental health and depression is real now. It's gotten so much worse than anybody could have imagined.
You know, I think, yeah, well, I think because of the last 2 years, but also I think now it's being, more light is being shined on it.
Yes, and that's what we want to do as well.
And I think that's why becoming, everybody is being more aware of it. Because, 5, 6, 7 years ago,
You kept it inside. You kept
Yeah,
it to
it
yourself.
wasn't
You
so-
kept it to yourself, and that's what ultimately.
it's almost this stigma had to be shaken off.
Yeah.
Where, if you have an issue, then that's okay. Figure something out. A buddy, a friend, a doctor. Get yourself better.
And anybody, and again, like I said, we're a show where we want you to comment. We want the audience to be involved. And if there's any questions that you
Please
want to
ask.
say,
Put them
please
in
ask. And again, we don't ask that you put your name or anything. You can write anonymous. If you need somebody to talk to, just write it in the comments. I'll be sure to elaborate and talk about it. Anything you guys need. That's what we really want to do. That's why we call our show Open Up the Conversation. Whatever
That's
the
right.
conversation may be, whatever it is, open up. We're here. We can listen. We can talk. We can put our 2 cents in, even though
Yep.
our 2 cents only add up to 1.
That's true.
We're here to help. We want everybody to know that there's people that you can talk to and you're not alone. Me and RC have been through it. We know what it feels like. And again, we want everybody to know that we're here. You have somebody to talk to. And everybody, we just want everybody to be happy and healthy.
You can help as many people as possible.
If we can help a person today, I'm set. You understand? We're here for you. All right? I just want to say thank you. And it's been a great show. RC?
Yeah, thanks everybody for coming, and we'll see you next time.
And remember, do more, be more.